This is probably gonna be the last afternoon stream for a good while. I mean late afternoon today, but still afternoon stream, you know. I gotta make money, sadly. I gotta go back to my real job and do things, the gross things. So yeah, we're still gonna keep trying to stream every day. I don't plan on changing that or anything like that, but sadly, yeah, not gonna be able to stream as much during more or less day, afternoon, whatever you want to call it. But with that out of the way, hello, howdy friends, how's everybody doing today? I believe we last time were getting ready to fight Lieutenant Surge, right? It looks like all of our Mon are good to go. Yeah, I mean, we got Weeping Bell at level 25, man. I don't think we should have any problems with Surge at this point. How are we item-wise? So we got the item finder now. We got some potions. Yeah, we got 8 potions. Nate, what's up, my guy? Hello. How you doing today, man? Hope you're doing all right. We got some X specials. We got some TMs, HMs, escape rope. Sure, sort. Yeah, I figured it would get rid of that escape rope, put it somewhere else. But anyways, yeah, no, I think we're ready to take on Lieutenant Surge. We got some potions and things. Let's see what the people in his gym are like, at least. So we can go ahead and take a look at that. Like, you know, fight them, see what they do. I don't remember who we gave cut to. Was it Cheese? Did we give Cheese? Oh god, okay. Cheese is getting all the shitty moves, I guess. I mean, Dig's not a shitty move. Dig's okay. But he's getting all of the other shitty moves. Oh no, not Burn Heal. I just wanted to check with the item finder. I have no idea in Pokemon where like any of the hidden items are or anything. Can we use the item finder here? That would be really cool. I don't believe it works that way. But that would be like a huge boon if you could, you know? Yeah, I didn't think so. Because these buttons suck. And I assume it's the same level of suck in Yellow Legacy here as it is in normal. Okay, sent out a Magnemite. I was very confused why there was a Sailor in here. They don't know self-destruct, right? Oh, you bastard with your Swift. How dare you know Swift, of all things. Sonic Boom could be bad. Yeah, but it's not bad enough for me to want to, like, not kill him. Also, this Swift is kind of bullshit. I'm just saying. Like, man shouldn't know that I'm about to use Dig and he has to use Swift and not Sonic Boom every time. Just saying, it feels a little cheesy. Get it? His name's Cheese. Anyways, no, honestly, I don't know if they're doing, like, if they're cheating like that at all in this game or anything. But it does awfully feel like it right there, doesn't it? Cheese needs some XP, so I'm tempted to keep Cheese going. Poliwhirl, you're kind of useless in this situation. So does Nidoking. Maybe we can let Nidoking get a little bit of love here. It's all hacks? I mean, it's literally a ROM hack. So like, hello Noodle, thank you for the 5 bits. Yeah, we'll give Nidoking a chance to do a little something something. See if maybe he can take out a Mon or two. I'm not sure, honestly, what we're gonna come up against. Voltorb. Voltorb definitely learns self-destruct / whatever the other one's called. So there's a chance he could try and go for that here, but I think we just go for double kick and hope for the best. Okay, double kick isn't doing as much as I had hoped it would. Let's try Horn Attack. Double kick's probably actually the right move. But we'll give Horn Attack a try. Maybe not. Horn Attack did good. Alright, cool. Is he gonna send out another one? He is. And before one of them, right? We're gonna kill like 2 of them, and then the last one is gonna murder us with the self-destruct. I'm calling it. Also, Screech with the defense falling, that really sucks. But it's not the end of the world. We do get outsped unless he's about to self-destruct. I'm not that worried about the Screech, looking at how much damage he's done to us so far. Greatly Fall, I believe that means 2 levels, so we're now down 4 levels of defense. For that reason and that reason alone, I think we will go ahead and change Pokemon. We'll switch over to Pickles. With the two level, with the 2 levels that we have over Voltorb, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to take him on, especially if he's just going to have double team. I'm pretty sure we're going to outspeed, so we're just going to Thunder Punch. Because while, I don't know. I was hoping that, like, all of the extra base damage that Thunder Punch does, that it would outperform Quick Attack, even though he resists it. But it didn't do quite as much as I had hoped. Let's check and see Quick Attack. I guess it's about the same either way. That's fine. We'll just keep Quick Attacking it then. We don't have to worry about much of anything at this point, I don't believe. It looks like we got that one in the bag as well. So we'll fight the last dude with Nidoking. Take him on. And then we should be good to go against Surge. Now, I could go back and heal, and then try and let Cheese and or Nidoking get a little bit of experience against what's his name, Lieutenant Surge. But I honestly don't think that's the best idea, just because, or I honestly don't think, yeah, no, I don't think it's the best idea, because Lieutenant Surge is gonna have a higher level Raichu than normal, if I'm not mistaken. He's going to have a level like 25 Raichu, something like that. It's going to be his only Mon, though, so I think Weepinbell should be able to take him on fairly easily. But I think Nidoking and or Cheese would struggle. About to use Magnemite. We'll give it a go. If we need to, we'll swap out to Pickles, but Supersonic kind of does suck, actually. So fuck it, Pickles, it's your turn. And before he reads our switch, before it happens, and uses it again, he did not, thankfully. It's no Sonic Boom for us. That was a crit, but hardly did anything. We're just going to Quick Attack. We could double team to dodge 1 or 2 hits, but I think... Okay, maybe we should actually... Fuck it, Quick Attack. Just go for it. I was going to say we should be able to take him out in 2, is what I was thinking. But it seems like that's not the case. Just hit him through it? Nope. Okay. That's fine. Thundershock is also fine. That's not going to do enough, even if he accidentally crit. Well, I guess it wouldn't be an accidental crit. But anyways, we'll swap back into Nidoking now, I guess, since we got that Confuse on us from the Supersonic. He instantly Supersonics again. That's garbage. How much... He's only got 18. You've only got 26. I really don't want to bring out Weepinbell right now. Let's try going for a Horn Attack. Just hit through it. That's all you got to do. You didn't hit through it. Okay. Your electric attacks don't affect me. This is true. Wait, your electric attacks don't affect me. Ooh, maybe we can get Nidoking some... Thank God. Maybe we can get Nidoking some experience here. I didn't realize. I forgot he's what? He's dual ground poison, right? Nidoking is. So maybe we do go heal. Maybe I just lied to you guys. Because if he's not affected by electric attacks at all, then Raichu's biggest move being... Oh, we might have been able to dig out of there. I didn't think about that. But anyways, Raichu's biggest move being Thundershock or whatever. I don't know which one he has. I can't remember. We don't really have to worry about that. I'm sure he has something else, like probably a Quick Attack or something along those lines that we'll have to worry about at least a little bit. But, like, I think we'll be able to deal. I think it'll be okay. So we're just going to go ahead and give Nidoking a chance and at least see what he can do. If he's able to take him on just... straight up, then awesome. If not, then we can always swap into Weepinbell and use a level 25 grass against a 25 electric. Now for the best part of the game. Searching for the stupid switch. I especially love doing it whenever Pikachu's in your party, because whenever Pikachu's in your party, you then have to try and deal with Pikachu. Oh my god, look at that. First freaking try. Well, after we found the latch first try. We'll go ahead and save. Not that it's gonna matter. We don't reload. If we die, we die. We just hope that doesn't happen. Because, oof. I'm still a little bit scared throwing a level 22 out there, but 10 hut. Will you look at that? A pint-sized challenger. Haha, you've got big and brassy nerves to take me on with your puny power. A Pokemon battle is war. I'll show you, civilian. I'll shock you into surrender. Let's go, bros. Now, I think we got this. He should have one Mon. He does. It's a level 25 Raichu, I believe. 29 Raichu. Holy shit. Okay, they gave him much more of a buff than I thought they did. What are the chances we get poison out on him? A 7 level difference quick attack could really end up sucking too. He knows Surf. Of course he knows Surf. Nidoking's dead. He survived on 3. Let's go. Please get the poison. He didn't get the poison. Holy fuck. I should have known. I should have expected it, man. Of course, this ROM hack Raichu's gonna know Surf. I mean, Pikachu can learn Surf. And what, a Alolan Raichu or whatever can learn Surf. So, I mean, there's precedence for it. So I should have known, but I didn't. I thought, oh yeah, no, his #1 attacking move, of course, it's just gonna be Thunder, because that's what it always is, it's Thunder. But this is a ROM hack, and they made everything more difficult. Okay, Weaving I still think is a good choice, because we resist the Thunder, we resist the water. He's got Body Slam, that's gonna hurt. That did over half. That did over half. Jesus Christ. 35 and 35, that's 70. Yeah, that literally did just over half. Now, if we never die, it didn't happen, right? We just gotta heal and hope he misses and doesn't get a crit. Or that he uses a different move. I mean, we have the X special, which will be nice, but it's not gonna be good enough. All right, Super Potion on Weepinbell. So we just gotta pray he misses and doesn't get a crit. Yeah, 35. Holy fuck balls. He's not gonna miss, man. I don't even know. Wait. So it's a range. So he was doing down to 35, so that's 35, 36, 37. So assuming that was max, we should live with 1 HP. Poison. He does outspeed, which is... Of course, then he gets the fucking crit. I don't think there's anything we can do here. I think we're gonna actually have to reset. I know I was just saying how, like, we don't reset, but I think we're actually gonna have to reset. I don't think there's anything we can do here, man. $29, that... Oof. That's a big surprise to me. I did not expect 29. You know what? I don't like doing it. I didn't think we'd ever end up doing it. But never happened. We're resetting. Fuck that, dude. Level 29. Okay. Now that I know level 29, that's not a surprise anymore, we're going to call it there. Like... No, we're not going to reset on that fight again. If we lose next time, we lose next time. That's going to be that. But level 29. That was an alternate universe that didn't exist. See, if we were doing, like... a different kind of challenge run, like just a can it be done type run, I think if we poison powdered, hit with the poison powder, we could just out survive. 8 turns, although it takes, what, 16 turns now? So maybe not. Maybe even then we couldn't. We would still need to get 1 or 2 hits out on him. I forgot that that was a thing now. Okay, we'll come back for Lieutenant Surge. Never happened. What's the max level Dugtrio? I don't remember. We can... Let's grind. Let's see if there's any Mon for us to grind. And I guess... Honestly, our best thing to do is probably... Because Nidoking's going to be useless because of the water. The surf. And the ground typing that he has. Really? 6 level difference and Horn Attack didn't kill? So I think... Yeah. I think Pickles and Weepinbell, we just grind the fuck out of those two. And those are the only two that are really going to be any good for us. Pickles... Switch. Actually, we'll focus Weepinbell, because I still think Weepinbell's the better bet of the two. Because if we can get a couple of grass hits on him... Man, why did we have to lose Bulbasaur? Bulbasaur would have been so good here. And of course, instantly Pidgeotto. So, into Pickles. Thunder Punch. We could... We have Cut. We don't necessarily have to fight Surge right now. There's nothing stopping us from going back up to Misty... Well, not Misty herself, but like that area. And then going on to the next town. Technically, Surge is skippable. Okay, with the level difference, I think it'll be okay. Or not. That level difference really hits harder than I thought it would. Or doesn't hit as hard as I thought it would. Twice now that's happened. Although this time at least it makes some sense. You know, he resists, but still. So yeah, I think maybe we'll just run back up, start heading towards the next town so we can fight some trainers. And maybe catch a couple of new Mon while we're up there. It'll be a much faster way of grinding than just fighting wild Mon here, left and right. Trying to learn Headbutt. Maybe? Nah, maybe not actually. I mean, Quick Attack just comes in handy. Like, it really, really comes in handy. Let's see. If we... I don't remember the thing. What's the thing? Where is my dude? Lapoke. Here we go. Yellow Legacy lookup. Visit site. Okay, I want to see... Well, I guess we can get the information from here if I just search for Pikachu. Pikachu. Okay, Pikachu. Headbutt is a 70 base power with a chance to flinch. Quick Attack is a 40 base power. But it has priority. I mean, Pikachu, I think, is already a fairly fast Mon. But the fact that he's not going to evolve kinda sucks. Do we take the higher damage or do we take the priority? I think we keep the priority. Maybe eventually... Do we get rid of Thunder Wave? Double Team I don't want to get rid of. Thunder Wave's so good for catching Mon and shit though. Having priority move could literally save us though. But then again, so could just having a stronger attack. And flinch is pretty powerful. If it hits. Fuck it. Quick Attack, you're gone. We might end up regretting that, but I think Having the extra damage output is what we want. I think. So I could be very wrong on this. Only time will tell, though, I guess. Vine Whip. Oh, that's right. We have Acid now. I forgot about Acid. That's pretty good. Maybe we should have went Acid against... Oh, we didn't have a chance to. In that alternate universe that doesn't exist. We didn't even have a chance to try an Acid because... or Vine Whip, for that matter. Because we got crit. And then a pervert appeared on screen. Holy shit. Go away, Drowsy. You scare me. Let's look up... What was I gonna look up? I was gonna look up something. I was literally just thinking about it. Maybe it was Weeping Bell? Look up Acid? It's only a 65. Not even that strong of a move. He also gets headbutt. Huh. Look at that. Weeping Bell kind of sucks. Sorry, just looking at the move pool for him, he doesn't really get anything that's all that good. You know what? We haven't gone through Diglett Cave, and if we do get a Dugtrio, we should be able to take him on at this point. Diglett's dug this long tunnel. It goes right to Viridian City. Is there any items in here? No? Okay, well. It's worth a shot. Are there any items down here? Not on this screen, at least. Okay, I don't want to go too deep. Well... I don't think there's going to be anything useful back in Pallet Town in that area. Also, level 22 for the Diglett. Isn't that a little higher than usual? Maybe I'm misremembering. And Dugtrio is much scarier than I was thinking. Maybe we don't go through here. Maybe we leave. Actually. I will try to catch a Diglett if we come across one. But I'm legitimately a little scared of the Dugtrio. Okay, 18 is more what I was thinking you were gonna be. We'll try Acid, see if that doesn't kill. Excuse me, sorry. And it does. Okay, well, even though it's not very effective. I mean, that was a hell of a gap, but all the other not very effective ones we had, gap didn't matter. They tanked that shit like a boss. Here we go, level 22. You might be able to tank. Okay, you're going for... I almost said going for Acid. You're going for Scratch. I'm going for Acid. Hey! And he just barely lived. That's perfect. Now throw some balls at him. Did we get it? Hey! We got it! Let's go. Okay. I need to... pull up my spreadsheet here. So we got to keep track of our dudes. Who we have, who we don't have, all of that stuff. Diglett, the Molemon, number 50. It prefers dark places. It spends most of its time underground, though it may pop up in caves. Number 50 for Diglett. We already had him in here. We've seen him before. But now we caught and have him. Oop, did not mean to do that one. There we go. Nope, no nickname. Diglett wouldn't be too bad. Well, no, because he's got fucking Surf. So Diglett's going to be pointless. So legitimately, like our Pikachu and Grass type Mon are probably the two best options against him. I don't know why we avoided all the grass. I mean, we could do... Can't use cheese. I didn't mean to poison powder. That was dumb. I meant to use acid. Anyways, we can't use cheese because, again, surf. We can't use Farfetch'd because Thunder. Can't use Nidoking because Surf. Can't use Poliwhirl because Thunder. So that only leaves... I don't think I'm missing anybody, right? We got Weeping Bell's good. Pickles is good. Nidoking, no. Cheese, no. Farfetch, no. Poliwhirl, no. Yeah. So it's literally got to come down to these two. Everybody else is useless in this fight. Ruby Dooby Doo! Hello! Oh wait, Ruby Dooby Roo! Sorry, close enough. Anyways, hello man. What's up?
Koru just subscribed for 38 months.
38 freaking months, man. That's insane. Hello, would you like your votes to go to, I'm assuming to Scooby-Doo, yeah? Bro, over 2 years. I know. That said 38, right? That's 3 years. Wait, or did it say 28? Did I miss here? Did it say... Hold on. Where is it? Does it say how many months here? Yeah, 38 months. That's 3 years, my guy. That's insane. Seriously. Thank you so much, my dude. I do appreciate you so much. What am I doing? Scooby-Doo. Control F. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. We're doing... It was Mystery Mayhem, right? Was the one that you were putting stuff on last? I gotta bring the computer back to Micro Center? Oof, why? I'm guessing it's a little too fucked, or whatever they did just didn't... Windows Memory Diagnostics before it even started, it said hardware, and gross. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Okay, so let's see. You get... It was 15 before, but we're multiplying by 100. So 1,500. So that's total of 1,600. Sorry, I had to do like math and stuff. It's gross, I know, but I had no choice. So that's 1,600 votes on Mystery Mayhem now. There we go. All right, now that I got 3 different spreadsheets open in my other window. What's going on? Windows Memory Diagnostics, before it started, it said hardware error. So, like, I wonder why, like, it would just start up all of a sudden, though. I mean, there's always a chance that something just dies, but normally things don't just die on their own. Unless, do you know what processor you have in it? Because if it's an Intel processor, then there's a chance you got one of the bad ones. Because I forget which generations off the top of my head, but the higher end Intel processors, the last couple of generations had a problem with their microcode, where they could potentially just cook themselves, literally. This didn't start until after you upgraded to 32 gig. Okay, so it could just be a bad lane then. Yeah, it could be that you have you tried, do you have 4 slots? Do you have all 4 full or just 2 of them full? Because even though it's optimal to have them in one set, usually the ones farther away from the CPU, as weird as that sounds, I think it is the ones further away for whatever reason. But anyways, yeah, if that's the case, so yeah, you think it's just 2? So if you have just the 2 sticks, but you have 4 slots, you could just try putting it in the other 2 slots. But of course, it depends on your motherboard. Some motherboards only have 2 slots, so all depends. But yeah, I mean, either way, if you want to take it to Micro Center and let them deal with it for you, I don't see anything wrong with that, you know? If you're not comfortable doing it, then yeah, make them do it. That's what they're there for. But if it's something you feel comfortable enough doing on your own, then you could give that a try, and it may help. I mean, worst case scenario, it just does nothing, right? They fucked it up, so they fix it? I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That makes perfect sense to me. I see nothing wrong with that, my guy. Now, if you do have one of those bad CPUs, though, there is still a chance that they didn't actually fuck anything up, and that your CPU just cooked itself alive. As shitty as that is. Either way, though, they should be able to tell you, like... Well, I guess they wouldn't be able to tell you if your CPU cooked itself or not, but they should be able to check the RAM, swap it out, do all that sort of stuff, and hopefully get it up and running again for you. Your CPU is the memory / processor. So yeah, it'd be the processor specifically, not the memory. So if you go to, fuck, I don't know hardware. So if you go to Task Manager is the easiest way to tell. And then you go to Performance, and you click on CPU. It should tell you in the top right corner which one you have. Weebenbell's trying to learn Headbutt. Delete an older move? Maybe. Headbutt stronger AMD Ryzen 5 5600. Oh, you got an X3D. Very nice, man. The X3D ones are better for gaming specifically. But anyways, no, you don't have to worry about it then. There's no, as far as I know, there haven't been any sort of issues with AMD processors cooking themselves or major bugs in them or anything like that recently. As far as I know, I don't keep up with hardware as much as I used to, so I could be wrong on that. But yeah, it's most likely either just a bad overclock, a bad memory lane, or the memory just needs reseated. It's probably one of those. Or yeah, definitely could be a bad stick as well. 100%. That is perfectly feasible. I'm tempted to get rid of poison powder. Poison can be very handy, but in first gen it takes 16 turns for poison to kill somebody. If we're dying and down to the point to where we're relying on poison damage to win for us, not toxic damage, poison damage, then I think we're kind of fucked anyways. So I think we're going to go ahead and swap poison powder. And we're never going to use poison powder for catching a wild mon, because poison powder, of course, deals damage every turn. So if we're not... Ooh, Pidgeotto. We will switch on Pidgeotto. Yeah, anyways, it does damage every turn, so if we're struggling to catch something, poison powder will just end up killing them before we have a chance to catch them, or at least may end up doing it, so. And it doesn't help, as far as I'm aware. It doesn't help the catch chance at all. Good news is you have your old RAM, so you plan to bring it just in case, see if they can... So they can see if it's like the port or the RAM they installed, and you got a copy of receipt. Yay, 2-year warranties? Fuck yeah, dude. It's always a good idea whenever you're buying, I mean, honestly, anything, but especially anything electronic, computer part related, anything like that. It's a very good idea to keep your receipt, because yeah, things can just die or be dead or whatever, and I still don't understand TM30 teleport. I don't understand why that's a thing. Pokemon Yellow. Oh, I fucked that up real bad. Pokemon Yellow. What Pokemon can learn teleport? Oh, teleport. Pokemon Yellow. Abracadabra, Alakazam. They're the only ones. That's it. I mean, besides Mew, of course, but you can't normally get Mew in Pokemon Yellow. That's actual garbage. Gen 1 Dex. Yeah, it's literally... Oh wait, Pokemon that can learn teleport by TM. Okay, so there are more. Now, is this Gen 1 or is this just any gen? Because if this is Gen 1, then it's actually a lot. Because like Mew and Mewtwo, of course, no surprise there. But also Magmar? Electabuzz? Jinx, Mr. Mime, Starmie, Staryu, Chansey, Executor, and Execute? Electrode and Voltorb? Like, what? Why can a lot of you... Cloyster and Shelter? Magneton, Magnemite? I don't know if this is real. I mean, I'm on Cerebi, so I'm tempted to, like... I'm tempted to believe it, but is there really that many Mon that can learn Teleport in Pokemon Yellow? Now, we're playing Yellow Legacy, so, like, you know, things could be different. But yeah, no, that sounds wrong, doesn't it? Wow, that's a lot. Cerebi, it's legit then. I know, Cerebi's a good site. I'm tempted to believe. I'm just wondering if, like, it's showing data from what Mon can learn later in the series. That just seems really weird for Gen 1. I mean, since it's in our bag, we don't have any of those mon that I can think of off the top of my head, but can anything we have right now learn it? No. I didn't plan on teaching teleport anyways. It's useful for fleeing wild encounters and getting back to a Pokemon Center from the overworld. That's all it's useful for. But tomorrow you also plan to get some canned air so you can dust out to see if that helps at all. I honestly don't think it's going to help your issue, but keeping your computer clean is always just a good idea anyways, right? It's good practice because... sorry, stretching. Because, yeah, I mean, having a bunch of dust in there, not only is it just, you know, dusty and dirty, but also it can cause issues with, say, overheating if, like, the fans are clogged up, or more importantly than the fans, I guess, would be the radiators. If they're all clogged up with dust, hair, dirt, debris, whatever, then, like, yeah. You're gonna send a pic of how dusty it is? You're honestly impressed this is over 2 years? Yeah, by all means, man, send it. I'll take a look at it. It's probably better than mine, to be honest with you. I don't remember the last time I've done mine. Onyx dug a hole. Grass isn't weak to dig, though, right? That did... Oh, wait. Our turn order was second. We're slower. He's probably just going to use it again, then. Yep. Nope. Called it. So 41 out of 78. So that was over half. So we do need to change. I guess... Nidoking? He's ground type. So he should be able to withstand just fine. Or not. Never mind, that's super effective. How do we deal with this? Far-fetched. You're a flying type. You're not weak to ground type moves. Might be weak to rock type moves, though. Poliwhirl? Maybe Poliwhirl. Should be 4 times effective. Didn't do as much as I had hoped, but it did some damage. Rock Throw is only doing 20. Okay, we're good. And I was gonna say, now we just gotta figure out how to get back to the Pokemon Center without, like, dying. But we got Dig, so we're actually okay. So we are just going to dig our way out of here. Goodbye. What do you mean this isn't the... Oh, that can't be used from the overworld. Of course, that can only be used from dungeons. Okay. So we're going to have to fight at least 1 or 2 more people. Sent. Aha. Oh, yeah, legit. That's not that bad for 2 years. That's not that bad at all. For 2 years. And I mean, the fan's spinning, so it's kind of hard to tell, but from what I can see, the radiator doesn't look super clogged up with dust and dirt or anything like that. So your radiator's probably fine. There's a little bit in there. So yeah, the one thing, whenever you're blowing it out with the can of air, stick your finger on that fan, because obviously the computer should be off while you're doing this. So stick your finger on that fan and blow it out that way. Also... Yes, you do have 4 slots, right? Yes, you have 4 slots, and they do have it installed in the correct ones. I was gonna say you could try moving it if it was something you wanted to do, but again, we already talked about just letting them deal with it. I was gonna say that you could move those 2 RAM sticks to the left. Like, you'd want to move the leftmost one over one, and then the rightmost one over one. And you could try that. That might also fix your issue, but... your cooler may interfere with it. I can't tell if you'll actually be able to or not. The height may not work on it. But either way, you can just let them deal with it. It's their job. Why not? I think we use a potion. I was gonna say I think we just go for it and then we'll be good, but nah, just use the potion, get Weeping Bell back up to full, and then like yeah. Plus free because warranty. Yes, very good point. Very good point. It just sucks you'll have to wait for them to deal with it. But last thing you want to do is potentially like screw something up and make it worse or whatever. And it's just, yeah. No, it's their problem. Let them deal with it. I'm with you on that. You're level 28, Mr. Sandshrew. That's kind of, oh. Of course you hit with your sand attack too, you bastard. All right. Should just Vine Whipped from the start. Can we get a crit? Did we even need it? We didn't even need it. Okay, he's dead. Goodbye, Sandshrew. It was nice knowing you. So far, it's okay right now. I'm sorry I need to game and watch shit. My ADHD will not allow it. I feel it. I feel it. $5600X3D. Which, do you know which GPU that is? I see it's an AMD GPU as well. I'm guessing like a, oh god, I'm really bad at AMD GPUs. Like what is it? Is it 78 these days? No, I can't remember. I can't remember the naming scheme for AMD GPUs. I've been using NVIDIA for quite a while. I was a big AMD fanboy for both CPUs and GPUs for a long time. And I still think they make the better CPUs. I wholeheartedly believe that. But GPUs, I got one from them. So, like, I had one or two from them, and they were excellent. No problems at all. They worked great. 6650, that's what it is. Okay. Pincer. Are bugs strong against grass? That would make sense, because... bugs eat plants. Okay, you're going for Harden. Maybe we should just win for it. Sand attack. God damn it. You're gonna Harden left and right, aren't you? We might want to switch to somebody with special. But anyways. We will... Or what was I saying? Oh, anyways, yeah. And then I got one and it died on me. And ever since then, ever since I had that one die on me, I've just been very iffy about buying AMD GPUs anymore. Because, yeah, it sucked, man. It, no matter what I did, like, I would be gaming and sometimes it would be perfectly fine. No problems at all. Sometimes it would die after a few hours. And then other times, still, it would die after 5 minutes of gaming, and so eventually I just had to give up on it, and I decided to get a NVIDIA card, and then I never went back to AMD. I wholeheartedly believe their products have gotten better, and I could probably buy one and be perfectly happy with it, other than the fact that I use NVIDIA Broadcast to clear up my audio and to apply effects to my camera and stuff like that. But still, I just, yeah, I haven't gone back. Nate, what's up? Welcome back, man. I thought you died on us, not gonna lie. NVIDIA, I've dealt with enough to know they're picky business. My only problem with NVIDIA is the price. Honestly, they price gouge some of their stuff for sure. The performance does not justify the price increase of a lot of the products. Some of their products 100%, you know? The price is reasonable on. I'm not saying everything they do is garbage or anything. I'm not a hater. You can call me one if you want. I don't really care. Anyways, we're getting off track. But like yeah, no, sometimes they release a product that has, you know, 15-20% better performance, let's say, and for some reason they'll increase the price on that product for, say, 60%, 50%, even though you're only getting a relatively small bump in performance. And then the icing on the cake is 6 months, a year down the line, they'll take that product and without changing it, like without changing the SKU or putting any reasonable name change on it to differentiate it, they'll change parts in it that then cut the performance, say 5-10%. So now you're effectively getting like a 10% increase in performance from the last generation for that same, 50% or whatever price increase. And it's just, that's kind of bullshit, no company's perfect, and NVIDIA's definitely not the exception to that rule. But yeah, they, in my opinion, they can be especially bad sometimes about stuff like that. And it does piss me off, but you don't really have any other options, right? You can go AMD, but then for the streaming stuff, I don't have, as far as I'm aware, AMD doesn't have a competing option for something like NVIDIA Voice. And, I also use their NVENC encoder to encode streams, because it's basically free, and it works really well. And then I have my past history with it as well. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to switch. Ty the Tasmanian Tiger has a remaster and is getting a Switch box release. That's pretty sick. I wonder if it'll come to Switch 2 as well. Which, speaking of, I kind of forgot to ever bring it up, but did y'all see the Switch 2 release? Or not release, but the trailer release that they put out for it? The trailer for it, I guess is what I should say. The Switch 2 has been officially announced. That's what I'm saying. It's legit. Looks to be most things currently. Been here. It wasn't sending messages. Ah, I see. Yeah, that's no surprise. Love me some Twitch, but Twitch be... want to talk about picky bitches, Rue. Twitch. Twitch is a finicky... Anyways. Yeah, no, the Switch 2 looks cool, though. I'm excited for it. It just looks like a Switch, but with bigger screen. It looks like you'll be able to use the Switch controller as a mouse. So that's kind of neat. Mario Paint might be making a comeback. You could potentially use it for first-person shooters and things like that. Could be an option, Hold a controller in your left hand, and then right hand mouse, something like that. Point and click adventures. If you wanted to have that on the Switch, you could use the touchscreen on the Twitch itself, and then in TV/desktop mode or whatever, you could use it as a mouse to do like point and click adventure games and things like that. I honestly think having a mouse built into your controller is an awesome idea, especially in this day and age, because so many things. Not only point and click adventures, but you also then have RTS games, for instance, which, I mean, sure, you can fucking Onyx again. You can technically do all of these things with... Do we outspeed? We do not. You can technically do all of these things with a controller, but generally speaking, it works much better with a mouse than it does with a controller. These games tend to be made controller first. CRPGs. You could legit have a CRPG game. It would need some significant rework, I think, to work with a mouse and then the few number of buttons that you would have with a controller. But you could have a CRPG with like mouse support. That's kind of neat. I don't really think it's necessary, but like, yeah. You need a Bluetooth controller. PlayStation controllers are Bluetooth, although without using Steam's compatibility layer, there's very few games that officially support it. But if you use Steam's compatibility layer, then it just works. PS4 or PS5 controller. And then, of course, Xbox One or Series controllers. They have Bluetooth and are supported by nearly every game out of the box, and even more. Well, no, I guess that's not true. I was going to say even more if you use Steam's compatibility layer, but no, because Steam's compatibility layer just emulates a X input device, which is what Xbox controllers use natively, because the X line is kind of... That's Microsoft's thing. X input is Microsoft's thing, so of course the Xbox controller is going to use X input. Anyways, I mean, it's cool, but I was also kind of hoping they followed sweet through it out the window and came out with something crazy again. Now, I think they have to play it safe with this one, It did too good for them. The Switch was massive, is massive, I guess I should say. And I don't think they really had a choice. They... Ever since the Wii, right? Like, they haven't even gotten rid of their Wii stuff that they've had ever since they got the Wii. They've been kind of keeping that stuff in. So now that they've made a console that was huge, that's a 2-in-1 portable device like handheld and dock TV thing, I don't think they have a choice but to have every console be a combo, portable, whatever, you know? Of course they can change it, but they're just going to end up throwing a shit ton of money out the window if they do. So personally, I think 5 to 10 years, probably closer to 10 with Nintendo, I think we're going to see a Switch 3. I'm just being honest with you, man. I think this is their new norm. It may have more new features. It may be a little bit different in one way or another. Maybe they'll, by then, maybe docking technology will be a lot cheaper, and they'll have it so, like, how you can have a Steam Deck, right? And then you can take the Steam Deck. So you can take your Steam Deck and you can dock it with, like, an external GPU to make it even more powerful. Maybe they'll do something like that. So instead of just a, you know, handheld mode, it's lower power, still runs the game, but doesn't run them as well or whatever. You dock it, and then now it's, I was going to say 20% more powerful, but no, in all honesty, it could be 2, 3, 4 times as powerful, depending what kind of chip they have inside versus what kind of thing they have in the docking station and whatnot. Seeing as price targets that they'd probably want to hit, it would probably be closer to like twice as powerful, if not a little bit less. But still, maybe the Switch 3 will have something like that. I don't know, to be determined. But yeah, I don't think they're ever going to make a huge change again. We will get rid of Vine Whip for Razor Leaf. Razor Leaf is more powerful, and I don't see any reason to keep it around, which I'm cool with. It being handheld TV console, just wish some other crazy thing was thrown in. I mean, honestly, I think the mouse functionality could end up changing a lot of things for it. But it's up to game developers and app developers to make use of it, you know? B-Drill. We're level 29 now. We don't really need to go any farther with Weepin' Bell. That puts us on par with Lieutenant Surge. Do we have any other good options, though? Nidoking? Farfetch'd? For a B-Drill? I think we're going to have to go Nidoking and hope for the best here. I just want to actually be able to play big name games. Like, come on, the Switch can barely handle the frames for Arkham Knight. Have you seen how the Batmobile drives? I haven't personally. I haven't played any of the Arkham games or watched any of the Arkham games on the Switch. But yeah, no, I can certainly see what you're saying. I can see why that's a problem. Honestly, something that'd be really cool for the Switch, the Steam Deck here is soon, if it hasn't already, is getting official support for NVIDIA GeForce Now, which is NVIDIA's game streaming tech. So it'll be able to play big name games at, I mean, on the go, like in handheld, native res or higher. But if you dock it to a TV using an HDMI adapter, then you could play, you know, brand new release AAA games at 4K without any problems, which is neat. So they could do game streaming like that on the Switch to make something like that happen, but let's be honest, game streaming is neat, but is definitely not ideal for most people. My internet's pretty decent, and even then, I, like, don't prefer game streaming to just playing a game locally, you know? It works well enough, but whenever you do start getting artifacting or frame drops or whatever, it just kind of sucks having to deal with that. So I don't do it too often. I haven't paid for NVIDIA GeForce Now in quite some time for that very reason. And technically the Switch already supports game streaming. It's just, you know, not very many because it's not that great of an experience. But anyways, if the internal leaks are true about the Switch 2, because the externals have obviously been leaked, but so have the internals. If those are true, then it's going to have the NVIDIA Tegra 2, which... let's see. NVIDIA Tegra 2. Well, hold on. Which chip powers the Switch 2? Which chip will the Switch 2 use? It is believed to be using a Tegra 239. NVIDIA Tegra 239. Tegra 239 desktop equivalent. So that is a ARM processor with a built-in GPU. 3 Cortex performance cores, 1 high performance core, and 4 Cortex. So wait, no, hold on. So the Tegra, assuming this is true, then the Tegra T239 is a hybrid CPU with 3 A78 performance cores, 1 X1 high performance core, and then 4 efficiency cores. So it'd be an 8-core processor. 4 of those are performance-ish, you know, there is the 1 high-performance one, and then 4 efficiency cores. So we'll call it, it doesn't work this way, but we'll call it a 6-core processor, which is pretty decent. It has 1,536 CUDA cores, built on the same technology as the RTX 20 series, putting it roughly in line with the RTX 2050. So actually, that's pretty good. I mean, and here's another thing to remember, right? So the RTX 2050 is a lower end card from 2 generations ago, right? We're currently on the 40 series. So, and we're getting ready to go into the 50 series. So it sounds like it's getting pretty outdated at this point. But one, it's going to be much more efficient, power efficient, which is good for, you know, a handheld device. And then 2, the big thing that you always have to remember with game consoles is game consoles don't work under the same rules. Excuse me, that desktop chips use, right? Because it may be true that it's that its closest desktop comparison is a 2050, but because every Switch is going to be using the exact same hardware, and it's being built tailor-made for, or the games can be built tailor-made for that specific device, you can get so much more performance out of it than you would be able to otherwise if it was a desktop chip. No, I don't think we need to change Pokemon. So I can't say how much extra performance they'll be able to get out of it. You know, trying to do so even would be disingenuous. But you can expect it to perform much better than a 2050 would if games are properly made for the Switch and not just half-assed ports over to it. Meaning that, I mean, in a 2050, I'm pretty sure it can still run like the newest Call of Duty games and stuff like that, right? RTX 2050 Call of Duty 6. And obviously, I don't think my community cares the most about Call of Duty. But the point is, if it can play Black Ops 6, then it can probably play most other modern AAA games. Or slightly older AAA games like the Arkham series. I just want to see, like, performance numbers. That's beta campaign. I mean, whatever. Campaign gameplay. Not exactly what I was looking for. God, I can't see shit. It is getting... yeah, 50 FPS. I'm assuming low settings. But it's getting 50, 46, 49, 50, 52, 53, 47, 51. So, you know, 50 FPS on Call of Duty. Call of Duty 6, which is a game that, you know, just came out, I was going to say this year, technically I guess last year. But it's still, it's a new high-end AAA game. So if the 2050 can handle that and, you know, it's being tailor-made for that console, for the Nintendo Switch 2, then I think it would be able to handle something like that just fine. So is it going to be outclassed I was gonna say very soon. Honestly, it's gonna be outclassed instantly by gaming PCs. How did we miss? I thought Razor Leaf had... Did we get sand attacked at some point? We must have got sand attacked at some point. But yeah, but considering it's a handheld device, and it should easily do 1080p, which, can we be real for a second? 4K is unnecessary. I love 4K. I have a 4K monitor right here. But it's completely unnecessary. Man, you just don't need it. That's the long and short of it. You just don't need it. 4K, if you're sitting a reasonable distance from whatever you're watching, 4K, you can't really tell much of a difference between 4K and 1080p when sitting at a reasonable difference. If you're pixel peeping, then 100% you can tell the difference. You know, I'm not saying there's no difference at all. You get 4 times the clarity with 4K. Like, you know? But it's like, at a reasonable distance, man, you can't really tell. It's all the same fucking thing. And what makes a bigger difference with 4K is the HDR capability that's paired with it. I think if you took a 1080p, like the same movie, played it back at 1080p, and it had the same HDR support that the 4K version has, I don't think you would notice much of a difference. And considering that it's, we'll say, 4 times cheaper to run it than the 4K equivalent, I think targeting 1080p is perfectly fine, especially for a mobile device. Because on that little screen, it's going to make even less of a difference. The pixels per inch. That's the other thing, too, that you got to consider, right? If you're talking 80 to 100 inch TV, then 4K is going to make a lot bigger difference than if you're more modest, you know, with a 50 inch TV. With like a 43, 50 inch TV or something like that, the pixel density is high enough that I don't think it matters, to be honest with you. Even with like a 55, 60 inch TV, I think 1080p is more than enough. I'm just going to be real with you guys. Maybe that's just me. Everybody can have their own opinion on it, but yeah, I don't think it's necessary. So if they target 1080p and games are being ported properly to the Switch 2, I think we could actually get third-party support for the Switch 2 for the next while, especially from Microsoft, because Microsoft is dying. Like, just in the gaming space, 100%, Microsoft, they're struggling. They need help. That's why they're porting their games to other systems. That's why they're pushing Game Pass as a possibility, not only on PC, but they're trying to open it up to more places. Their streaming tech, you know, they're adding it to more and more devices, because, like, they're struggling hardcore. And actually, a report just came out. I don't know if it was leaked or if they admitted to it or what happened. But a report just came out that in 2021, Microsoft was about this close to shutting down their gaming division entirely. Just gone. They're done with gaming. They were very close to just leaving the gaming space entirely. They basically, the CEO of Microsoft, not the gaming lead, whatever his name is, Phil Spencer, is that him or is that the Sony one? I don't remember. I don't idolize CEOs. But anyways, the CEO of Microsoft basically had a choice. They had to pick between killing Microsoft Gaming or making some big acquisitions to try and boost their Game Pass numbers. And they decided to go with the making big acquisitions, of course. They bought Bethesda and then shortly thereafter bought Activision Blizzard, which personally I'm not a fan of either one of those calls, but it's not up to me and it's done, whatever. And so far since they've done that, though, they're not doing any better. They're struggling more. They have had an increase in Game Pass subscriptions. I believe Call of Duty had a big thing to do with that, but they're still not hitting the turnover that they expect or need to keep it running. Major retailers have cut back on the number of Xbox games that they carry, There was a report, whether it comes true or not, although the last time I went to Walmart, it certainly seemed true. There was a report a year or two ago that Walmart was going to stop carrying Xbox games entirely in store. Microsoft has started releasing their games on third-party consoles, both Sony and the Switch. And again, they are trying to push the Game Pass. They're trying to add compatibility with Game Pass to more things like smart TVs, be it through streaming or natively or whatever. They're hemorrhaging money, and as many people as they fire, it doesn't seem to matter. They just aren't making it up in time. And Microsoft is kind of at a pivotal point. Well, Xbox, I should say. Microsoft isn't going anywhere, I don't think, but Xbox is kind of at a pivotal point right now where they got to figure out what they're doing, if they're going to stay afloat, or if they are just done. You know, it doesn't help that the Xbox consoles have not been selling particularly well. I mean, they sell well, don't get me wrong. It's not like they haven't sold any units at all. But when compared to a Sony or a Nintendo, they haven't kept up since the Xbox 360. The Xbox One did not do particularly well. The Xbox Series has not done particularly well. Like, they're struggling in every sense of the word, man. Xbox as a company is struggling hardcore. And yeah, I honestly don't know what they're going to do. But for that reason, though, I see the Switch 2 getting a lot of support from Microsoft, because both companies don't particularly see Nintendo as like a direct competitor, a direct rival, which, I mean, makes some level of sense, you know. Their focus, Nintendo's focus, is more on family entertainment and just being fun for everyone. But anyways, so yeah, Nintendo's not a direct competitor, and Microsoft, as long as they're going to keep in the console game, obviously doesn't want to feed their direct competitor unless they have to, no matter what they publicly say. So I see them porting as many games as possible to the Nintendo Switch 2. There are a lot of rumors out right now about the Elder Scrolls, what was it, Oblivion? I believe it was Oblivion is the one. That there's a lot of rumors out there right now that that's getting a remake, a remaster. That's going to be coming out in the next year or two. Currently being worked on. And if that's true, I could totally see that coming to the Switch. They, you know, would complement Skyrim on the Switch nicely. Start building up a catalog there. I could see if the Switch 2 comes out before the end of the year, I could see Black Ops 6 going to it. If it's not coming out before the end of the year, then I could see, like, if it comes out, you know, October, November, December, then I wouldn't be surprised if they get the next Call of Duty game ported over to the Switch. Ori, that whole series probably coming over. Whatever the next Fallout game is, wouldn't be surprised if that comes over, you know. At 1080p, if that's their performance target and it's as powerful as it seems to be, then they could get pretty good support for the next little while from Microsoft, which would be pretty big, honestly, for the Switch. And it would be awesome for a handheld game. It's one of the reasons why I prefer buying my games on PC, because I have that Steam Deck that I was just showing off back there, so I can take that Steam Deck and I can play Skyrim on the go. I can play Fallout on the go. I can play, insert name of game here, I can play most games on the go if I want. God of War, Spider-Man, the Sony titles, if we want to bring those up, on the go with it. And that's really cool. So I think a major studio like Microsoft, love them or hate them, bringing their games to the Switch, and I think that would do boatloads of good for the Switch 2, and would also do boatloads of good for Microsoft. And I don't think they have much other choice, to be honest. Noodle, welcome back. Thank you for the 5 bits. Don't forget you have a ride. Gotcha. I haven't forgotten. It's been 6 years since Elder Scrolls 6 was teased. I know, and it hurts, man. And because of the acquisition, Bethesda has lost 90% of their workforce. That's a slight exaggeration. Little more than a slight exaggeration. You're hoping it's true, Nate? The Oblivion remaster? Me too, honestly. I think that'd be really cool. I've never actually like played all the way through Oblivion or anything like that. Actually, I've hardly played Oblivion, so that would be really fun. I would love for that to happen. Everyone keeps freaking me out about banning games because of their ties to China, which is fucking annoying. Yeah, that's a thing that's going on right now. It's not as big of a deal as I think some people make it out to be. Like, Tencent is one of the big companies that, or actually, as far as I'm aware, it's the biggest company that the US has been like, hey, this gaming company has ties to the Chinese government, specifically military. We are not to support them anymore. But that ban only takes... It doesn't actually affect Tencent's business at all. Because Tencent makes a couple of games, I believe, but mostly they just invest in other gaming companies and then, you know, take part of the profits, essentially, is mostly what they do. And the order that's been put out does not stop or prevent the sale or marketing by Tencent in the US. It just stops government departments from working with Tencent. So I don't think it's as big of a worry as it may seem. I don't think you have to worry about much. But honestly, Tencent is another one of those companies, kind of like Microsoft, that just has their hand in everything that they don't need to have their hand in. And it's kind of ridiculous. Like, as far as I can tell, whenever Tencent buys up pieces of these companies, it doesn't really make much of a difference. It doesn't really change anything for them. So I guess no harm, no foul, I guess. But at the same time, you know, whenever one company, Tencent in this case, owns, say, somewhere between a 10 and 40, 50, 60, 70, 80% share of a lot of the largest game companies in the world, they only have to buy another 20, 10, 11, 0% to just more or less take over the company. Because obviously once you own 50% plus one, you have majority share. That doesn't mean you own the company at that point. But it does mean anything that comes up to a vote, you have the say. It's your vote at that point, right? You can say yes, you can say no, doesn't matter. You don't like the CEO that's there, you can convince the board to get rid of them, basically, you know? Like, that's just, yeah, you have a lot of power at that point once you own 50% plus one share of a company. So yeah, it's where they're at right now. Tencent doesn't hold a shit ton of power over all these companies, and they haven't seemed to use that power, what power they do have, for evil. But it's worrying that they could, I guess, you know? God, the US is more China than China is right now. I'm not going to get into the politicalness of Chinese or China versus the US or anything, basically because I don't actually know anything about China besides what I've seen in the news and whatnot. And I don't know. I don't know how accurate any of that is. I've never sat down and actually spoke to someone from China about their country in a candid environment where, you know, no chance of repercussions or anything like that. And I've never been to China. I have no clue. But what I will say, though, is I thought it was funny because of the TikTok ban. A lot of people have been going over to a different app. I can't remember the name of it, and for one thing, and for two, I don't think it's a good idea to go to the app to use it to give them your information and all of that stuff, because regardless of this country better than that country, whatever, all of that BS, it is a definite 100% fact that China has spied on and stolen information from a lot of US citizens. Well, I guess that's not 100% fact, you know, it seems incredibly likely to be true, right? So just willingly handing your information over to a company under the control of that government is a terrible idea. In the same way that I would say, if I was from China, I think giving all of your personal information to a company like Microsoft would be a terrible idea. So I'm not suggesting anybody goes to it, but there have been some great memes of just like conversations that have supposedly been had in the comments of said app. And yeah, it's just hilarious. And you know, just it's on the internet. It's memes. So who knows if it's true, but all of the people saying on that app that all of the stuff with, say, social credit scores, and the lack of health care, child labor laws, etc., are supposedly, according to people on that app, are all just propaganda pushed by every Western company, I suppose. Not company, every Western government, I suppose, because I believe it's the same belief system in places like, say, England, as what we have here on China. So I find it hard to believe that it's all propaganda, but you know, according to these memes, it is. And it's just kind of funny seeing all of the comments and what people have been saying and calling out the difference between like whenever you said we're more China than China is right now. That's kind of what the memes would have you believe, right? And it's just kind of funny to see them and to see the comparisons. I came back here thinking we would fight him, and we probably could, but I actually think Pickles needs more of a boost before we go in there, and I am more or less out of time as well. So I think we're gonna have to kind of call it there. Although, again, for my own memory's sake, we're gonna go over here, so I hopefully remember what we're doing. And we're just going to stare at this grass and hope that that's enough to remind us what we're doing. I'm not like running away, but I'm going to read the comments and stuff here and talk for a moment. But yeah, I think we're done with the game more or less. Sorry, OBS, for whatever reason, the chat didn't open up. So I have to use chat like actually in Twitch over here. Dude, not being political, I remember when I was a kid, there was an ad that came on that went about China owning this and that, and they were going to take over in like 10 years and all, and scared the shit out of me. I've never seen anything like that, to be honest with you. I've seen news stories like that before, which are 100% propaganda pieces. Let's be clear, you know? And from what I've read, it is true that China does own a significant amount of land and property in the US. And there are a lot of Chinese companies like Tencent that have heavily invested in U.S. companies. Whether that is for any nefarious purpose or not, I'm in no position to say. I will tell you that America is the number one, North America is the number one, what you want to call it, like financial market. Number one group of buyers in the world, right? Whatever you want to call it. So investing in American companies seems like just solid investment advice. So I can understand why they would do it, even if it's not for a political reason of any kind. So people assume that's not proven whatsoever. The government makes it a whole thing. The truth is, even if China does collect this information, the U.S. government and private businesses already have that information and will use it against you. Government makes it a whole thing, but the truth is, even if China does collect some of the U.S. government and private businesses already have it. Yeah, 100%. The U.S. government has shit tons of information on you, but would you rather your own government have information on you or a foreign government? It's the same thing. If I lived in China, I wouldn't want to give all of my information to the U.S. I would rather my country know what I ate for breakfast than a foreign one know what I ate for breakfast, because I would hope that my own country wouldn't use it against me. I mean, at all, you know, but just in general, I'd hope they wouldn't use it against me as much as, say, a foreign entity would. It's a one-party country, so the illusion of choice is there, but it's not as bad as people make it. There are some things, but still. He's dodging the political topics. Well, that's, yeah, because I just don't know, honestly. I don't know. I don't believe the propaganda is 100% accurate. You know, China is the number one risk to U.S. national security, just in terms of like military might and technological power and whatnot. So I definitely think some of it's propaganda, but I don't believe it's 100% propaganda. And let's play a little bit of devil's advocate for a second, right? If you're saying that it's hold on, let me just add was when I was like a little kid. This shouldn't have even been on TV. I'm a Homeland Security minder, so I actually can't say I have a bit of knowledge for this topic. Honestly, this whole thing is just exhausting. Superpower. Definitely propaganda. It says being political. Just reminded me of that ad. It's also a tactic to get money out of China, but still in the individual's possession. Very true. But anyways, yeah. Okay, Rue. Let's say if you're on the side of China's not as bad as what we're led to believe, and I'm on the side of just saying, like, the propaganda is probably more correct than wrong. I forget the point I was making now, though. Oh, okay. Now I remember. If you're right, and this is a terrible way to think of things, honestly, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, but this is some Christian bullshit here. Anyways, if you're right, and it's not nearly as bad, and then you give all your information to them, then awesome. And you're believing, like, the people on said app. And, I'm trying to think of, like, what I was saying. I'm trying to wrap my head around it, because, like, I'm stupid. But yeah, if you're saying, like, that the people on that app are correct and China's not nearly as bad as we're saying they are or whatever, then cool. Maybe they're telling the truth. But let's pretend for a second that the propaganda isn't all propaganda and that they are being heavily monitored, which would seem to be true, based off the fact that we know that they have limited access to the internet. The internet for them is very heavily censored. Imports for them are very heavily censored. They're not allowed to access a lot of news and websites that are free and open to other parts of the world. So we know that at least they are being censored in many ways. And if they're being censored in all those ways, it's not much of a stretch to believe that they're being monitored in many ways. So if you're going to a Chinese app and asking, that's under control of the Chinese government in the same way that, say, Microsoft would be under control of the US government, and you're asking Chinese people what it's like over there, why would they come out and be like, no, this place is absolute garbage, and they are overworking children in factories, we are being heavily censored, suppressed, whatever you want to call it, right? Because if the social credit score is a real thing, if you are being monitored, if people are being punished for speaking against their government in that country, you can't ask them in that situation what it's like and expect a real answer, because they would be risking their own life, their own political positions, their own social, parasocial situations, you know? They would be risking everything to come out and say it. They would have to either lie or just not say it at all. Those would be their only two choices. So, like, yeah, do I think the propaganda is pumped up a bit? 100%, man. Every country props up some level of propaganda against other countries. Do I trust what a bunch of random people are saying on a website controlled by that government? No. No. Not at all, you know? Because the one thing I know as an American citizen is that I can more or less say whatever I want about my government, and I'm okay. I can't say whether that's true or not for China. I know that there are very few websites that I would want to go to that I can't go to. I know that's not true for China. I can say that there's very few things I would want to buy that I can't buy in America. I know that's not true for China. So, like, they are definitely more repressed and controlled than we are. So I'm not going to believe what's said on an app controlled by their government, by their people. And that's just kind of what it comes down to. I would say don't believe all the propaganda that we push out, but I would also say, please, people, don't just don't just be like, oh, China is amazing, because some random people on the internet say it is. You know, it may or may not be. Again, I'm not from China. I haven't had a conversation with anybody from China in a way where they're free and open to talk about these things. China could be an amazing country. I don't know. Go make an LGB post on said app and see. Yeah, I honestly, I wonder what would happen there. I don't even know 100% what the LGBT stance on like that China has on that is. Are they anti-LGBT or at least believed to be anti-LGBT there? I know a lot of what is it? There's the one like big country. That's like it's a huge tourist destination that has a lot of very anti-LGBT laws. Is China kind of like that? I can't remember the name of the country, but anyways, they could be. I honestly don't know. Like I said, I know very little about China, other than a lot of people have come from China to the U.S. and opened up restaurants and then Americanized their food, and it tastes really good. That's what I know about China. Like, that's what I know beyond a shadow of a doubt about China, right? That's what I know to be fact. Also, there was a YouTube thing that I watched forever ago about, I don't think it was saying this is real, but it was saying that if you ever wanted to gain sympathy and support in an enemy nation, that having a Chinese restaurant on every corner would be like one of the best ways to do it. You know what I mean? And honestly, I agree with them on that. If I like ran a country and my biggest rival country, friendly or otherwise, and I wanted to garner support from my country and their country, bro, just send over a shit ton of people and tell them, hey, open up restaurants, make good food, sell it cheap. You know? 100%, man. Win the people over with food and a good time. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. It's what Japan is I love Japan. But it's what Japan is slowly doing to us, you know? Anime, 100%. They're gonna take over the entire world with anime. That's just how it is, man. They're selling us anime and waifus and video games, and now we can never go to war with them. Because, you know, imagine Japan suddenly was like, hey, fuck you guys. And we were like, we're going to fight ya. Bruh, 90% of the country would rise up. There would be a fucking civil war. Because, like, no, you're not taking our anime, our video games, our waifus from us. That can't happen, man. The 100%. China won. Or not China, I'm sorry. Japan won. In the long run, Japan won. They just, they beat us, man. Like, they got it. And, you know, Japan, fuck, now I'm messing up words. Anyways, China's doing the same thing, but from a different tactic, you know? They're gonna fill us all full of so much good food that it's like, no, fuck you. What are you doing? I need my Chinese food. You can't do it. According to Wikipedia, they can't marry or adopt, and head of household stuff isn't fun, but no discrimination laws have been passed. So a parasocial thing, kind of like the US, but they aren't recognized as real couples. Okay, so it's terrible to say, but not even as far along as the US, and it's, by many country standards, the US is really far behind in that. So not great, basically. You're not gonna be in prison officially. You're not gonna be legally imprisoned or like head to the chopping block or anything for being gay in any way, it seems like, but sadly still less rights than the US, where already very few rights exist for that particular community, which that sucks. But I mean, it's just another mark against China, I guess. Like, I don't know. I'm not a Chinese government sympathizer. I can't be. I don't love the government parties that we have. I've been vocal about that, and without getting political, I think that a lot of change is needed in this country, one way or another. But I can't get behind that flavor of communism either, you know? I can't do it. So, like, I don't know. I will say they accomplished some really amazing things, you know? What is it? The Three Rivers Dam, Three Gorges Dam, whatever it was called. The projects that they're putting into place for different like space projects that they have, really cool. They do have a lot of very large, very influential companies. So like, obviously some things are working well for them, but at what cost? That's another place that I can't speak of. It would appear to be, from the country that I live in, it would appear as though that is all being built on the backs of things that would be illegal here for good reason. Whether it's massively overworking and underpaying people, working minors, etc. Is that true? I mean, it seems to be, but I don't know, man. So I can't get behind that particular country's political party. I can't their particular flavor. I can't get behind it. It's just not for me. Anyways, we got way off topic of Pokemon. They aren't too bad about transgender rights. Socially, it's a whole different story. Yeah, that's no surprise, but they actually make it easier to change your gender on official documents and have a reasonable thing saying you can't undergo assignment until you're 20. Okay. I mean, that's good. Like I said, I'm glad they're not as bad as other countries are, but obviously I'd rather see most countries be more lenient on LGBTQ rights. And yeah, the sex change stuff is a tricky one, right? That's a tricky one to get behind. Not to get behind, right? If an adult wants to have a sex change operation or take drugs for it or whatever, I'm 100% for that. That should 100% be their right. That shouldn't be a problem. And then to be legally recognized as whatever gender is, that should be a thing too. I don't think that should be any sort of problem. But when age comes into it, that's where I do think it gets a little bit tricky. And I'm just going to nope out of that conversation because I don't know enough about the psychology of it or anything in any way. But I do know that as somebody that was a dumb teenager not that long ago, I definitely did, said, and thought a lot of things that I wouldn't do, say, or think now. So, like, I think that's a whole thing for people who aren't me to decide on what's right and what's wrong, on what kind of age limitations there should be on that sort of thing. Yeah. I think that's pretty fair to say. Here it is. It's a lot of censorship that happens. That's the main thing. Yeah, and I mean, again, that's the only stuff that I know to be verifiably true about China and their government, is that there's a lot of censorship in that government, be it directly or indirectly, like not allowing import of goods or not allowing outside access to entire swaths of the web or whatever the case may be. They have very strict laws on things like video games, what can and can't be in them and stuff like that, where ours is a lot more relaxed on that sort of thing. It's just, censorship is such a dumb topic because people get so mad about places like, say, Twitter before the purchase of it. People were so pissed off about tweets being deleted for one reason or another, and it doesn't even matter why. Twitter is a website owned by a company. They should be allowed to pick and choose if they want to. I personally don't think it's right unless your post is causing direct harm or direct harm to another person or group. Unless that is the case, or just like undeniably false, right? Then I don't think it should be deleted. If it's posed as an opinion, then I don't think it should be deleted. But at the end of the day, Twitter is owned by a specific company. So whether I like it or hate it, I think that company should be allowed to delete anything that they don't want on their platform. Right? Like, again, I don't like it, and I would hope most people wouldn't like that sort of thing being done. But then that's when you just stop using Twitter. Just go to another one. Go to a different platform. And sure, a lot of times that's easier said than done, especially once a company is the size of something like a Twitter is. But I don't know. I think people... It's like anytime you go into, again, let's say a Walmart, and you're being a massive dick, and you get kicked out, and you say that's like against your rights in some way or something like that.
because you're allowed to be in public, you're allowed to do what you want in public, whatever the case may be. Well, yeah, sure. Go out to the sidewalk at least 20 feet in front of Walmart, and that's true. You can shout all of the ridiculous things that you want to shout or whatever. But once you step foot on Walmart property, you're on Walmart's property. It's their rules at that point that you have to abide by. So, like, they can kick you out if they want to. Like, that's just kind of how it is. And there have been a lot of shitty cases about companies that have refused service because of somebody's status, and that's where it starts to get complicated for me. Like, where do you draw a line on what is and is not acceptable? I think you shouldn't be allowed to refuse service based on somebody's personal beliefs, yes. But then I was gonna say, but it's the display of those personal beliefs that then maybe, but even then, no. See, it's a very simple, slippery slope. Like, where do you draw that line? And that's where things get so freaking complicated. There are things that are protected status and should be, you know? Age, gender, I believe gender identity should be one of them. Anyways, etc. For sure, you know, 100%. Race, I don't know if I said race. And those should all be protected status, and you cannot be refused service or be punished for those things at all. But there has to be a line drawn somewhere, right? Between Walmart is allowed to kick you out for this and Walmart is not allowed to kick you out for this. But at the same time, Walmart's also private property, so they should be allowed to enforce whatever rules they want to enforce on their property, in the same way that if you come into my home, I should be allowed to kick you out of my home for any reason I damn well please, you know? And like, and that's kind of like, yeah. And that's, Chocobo, I kind of agree with you. Like, there does have to be a line drawn, though. That's the only thing I would say, is that you still have to have protected statuses, right? Where you can't draw the line on the side, you have to draw the line at least on the side of protected statuses being, you know, again, like age, race, gender, gender identity, whatever. After that, though, for me, it gets much more murky. And I do think it comes down to consumers voting with their wallets at that point. Because, yeah, and I'll be honest, because, like, the reason why I had to stop and think about what I was saying for a second is because my brain flashed to Walmart putting up a whites-only sign. You know what I mean? And that's where I was like, wait a second, no, we can't just let consumers vote with their wallets, because I don't think in any way that's acceptable. You know, I want to say I believe a company would instantly fail if they did such a thing, but I don't know. Maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't, sadly. So I do think we have to have a line somewhere. But I think it's only protected statuses like that. That's it, you know? That's a hard topic. It's a hard topic. I don't know what the answer is. I think, though, I personally would err towards the side of consumers need to vote with their wallets on that, and less so on the side of anybody can do anything they want. You know, it's just anarchy. Just let people run free. But yeah, you refuse to serve old people. Sometimes I wish I could. There are certainly days, that's for sure. But sadly, oof, no. There needs to be a protected status set somewhere. Anyways, guys, I've gone way too long. This was all way off topic. And in before all of these clips are taken way out of context. So I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Oh, God. I love y'all. Be kind to each other. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Good night. Goodbye. That's been Pokemon. I'm running away. Skip everything. But then, like, completing the individual objectives would probably take a while. Like, playing through as a good guy, playing through as a bad guy, etc.
There's also reports that the CIA's mainframe has been compromised. We're investigating the It is a strong possibility that this was also committed by the Black Aliens.
Tell the commanding generals that the United Federation will never surrender to terrorists.
Yes, Mr. President.
This planet was once saved from tyranny and annihilation by you two heroes. Now mankind must protect this peace at all costs. We must stand united to defend our world against these invaders.
Kinda wish I knew the lore of